Chapter 50. It's better to save the person first. Tang Yue, Zhang Jiangguo, and Chen Weiliang were all stunned. Chief Instructor Zhang Kong had just flown into the cavern. Even if he was faster, there's no way that the wolf would be killed by Zhang Kong. In which case, just how exactly did the spirit wolf die? After the summoned beast of the summoner dies, they themselves will receive damage to their spirit and soul. It seems like the spirit wolf really died, Tang Yue commented. Bai Yang's appearance just now was very clearly the symptoms of a summoned beast's death. That was not something that could be faked. Didn't the spirit wolf chase Mo Fan into the cavern? Yeah, how come it suddenly died? Is it possible that the spirit wolf hit a rock and died due to the cavern being too dark? Chen Weiliang wondered. Bai Yang turned his face around, his eyes brimming with maliciousness. You fucking hit a rock and died. Your whole fucking family hit a rock and died. My spirit wolf isn't some stupid rabbit who would crash into a wooden pole and die. The spirit wolf had night vision, and its body was strong. How could it possibly hit a stone and die? Even if all 40 students were to use their magic at the same time, they would not necessarily kill his spirit wolf. Let's go and check, Mrs. Tang Yue said. Yes, let's hurry and check it out. The reinforcements will arrive soon, and they'll take these students back. Inside of the cavern, Chief Instructor Zhang Kong remained dumbfounded. He was unable to believe the scene his eyes were showing him. The student called Mo Fan didn't die, and at this moment, his entire body was covered in wounds. The spirit wolf, who originally should have been dealt with by Zhang Kong, was currently standing beneath, or more accurately speaking, it was being pierced by a stalactite, directly pinning it to the cavern floor. There were no longer any signs of life. The spirit wolf died. The combat prowess of this spirit wolf was in no way inferior to a genuine magical beast. The reason why Zhang Kong let it out was definitely not to let the students be defeated. It was to allow the fake magical beast to give the students some genuine practice. Defeating this spirit wolf? That was something that they shouldn't have been able to do. Even a genuine squad of hunters would be defeated by a magical beast, and let's not even talk about these students who turned soft when they saw a magical beast. Thus, after Zhang Kong had charged into this place, he only hoped for there to be fewer students dying before he could deal with the spirit wolf. However, he saw a scene that he himself could not believe. The spirit wolf had died. It was stabbed by the stalactite. There can't be something this coincidental in this world. There's no way the stalactite would drop by itself and precisely hit the mad spirit wolf. Let alone the spirit wolf's reflexes. Before the stalactite could drop on it, it would definitely be able to dodge. This was done by you? Chief Instructor Zhang Kong didn't come back to his senses for a long time. At last, he finally locked his gaze on Mo Fan. This student looked like nothing special. He had neatly cut short hair, a face that you could say was quite handsome. His body and his face revealed that he was somewhat exhausted. His hands were firmly holding onto the other thin and weak youth who was covered in bloodstains, as if he planned on carrying him out of the cavern. Mo Fan raised his head, and his eyes also showed astonishment. Wings! The chief instructor has wings. Wind wings. Mo Fan knew this was wind wings. However, he never thought that actually seeing the wind wings would stun his heart like this. The shadow hovering in the midair, the wind wings behind his back that looked like an angel's. Damn it, that's so cool. How did you do this? Zhang Kong still carried some disbelief. After asking this, Zhang Kong suddenly felt like he was asking too much. From the perspective of following the crime scene and all the signs, it would be that this student used the fire burst to snap the stalactite, and made it fall down and pierce the spirit wolf. However, Zhang Kong's heart was still filled with numerous suspicions, as well as astonishment. First, just what degree of calm did this student have if he could think of baiting the spirit wolf into the cavern and using the stalactite as a weapon? Second, just how did he make the spirit wolf remain in place long enough to allow the stalactite stone to pierce through it? In short, he was genuinely unable to accept the fact that a second-year high school student was capable of killing a spirit wolf whose strength was a bit stronger than a magical beast by himself. Chief Instructor, I passed by this blue bracelet in the cavern. Does this mean I've completed the bounty? Where's my magic equipment? Mo Fan walked in front of Zhang Kong and smiled. Zhang Kong quickly thought back and suddenly realized something. Goddamn, he had never prepared any magic tool from the very beginning. The difficulty of this bounty was extremely high. Since the cavern was guarded by the spirit wolf, the blue bracelet was only put there to act as a symbol. They had no hope whatsoever for the students to acquire it. According to Kong's predictions, half of the students would be eliminated at the previous checkpoint, whereas the remaining would be completely annihilated by the spirit wolf. He would never have thought that this heaven-defying student would actually slaughter the spirit wolf. Just what kind of demon was this? Even instructors would not necessarily be able to resist the spirit wolf, yet it was killed by a student. As for the magic equipment? A magic equipment was extremely precious. How could Kong possibly gift one away? However, now, this student had clearly completed the bounty. Mo Fan watched the chief instructor, whose face had turned incredibly strange, carefully as he reached out his hand to demand the magic equipment. Cough. Let's save the people first. Let's save them first. Kong answered awkwardly at last. Oh, that's right. I remember you said it was a defensive magic equipment, a defense magic equipment worth tens of thousands. Mo Fan nodded his head, showing his approval. The hovering chief instructor's wings turned rather unstable, and he almost didn't dodge the fallen stalactite. Student, let's save the people first. Chapter 51 got killed by Mo Fan. Mo Fan was about to leave, but suddenly, he saw a shadow moving. The shadow was swirling around the cavern walls and descended in front of Mo Fan. Following that, Mo Fan watched a woman with a curvy, delicate body slowly emerge from it. The incredible scene caused Mo Fan to feel a despondent awe. Holy crap! Just what kind of spell is this? That's too cool. Mrs. Tong Yue. Mo Fan clearly saw this woman's perfect oval face, willow leaf brows, and demon fox eyes. You're okay? Mrs. Tong Yue revealed a joyous smile. I'm okay. Mrs. Tong Yue shifted her eyes and quickly discovered the spirit wolf pinned there like a collector's specimen. Suddenly, she was unable to keep her calm. This is... Mrs. Tong Yue blurted out, stunned. You have nurtured a demonic student. The spirit wolf was killed by him, Kong told her. Mrs. Tong Yue felt so shocked that she opened her mouth blankly, as her gaze fixed on Mo Fan. Mo Fan felt embarrassed from all the looks, coughing before saying, Let's save the people first, let's save them. Outside of the mountain pass, Mu Bai, Shu Jiaoting, Zhao Kunsen, Zhang Shuhao, and He Yu were all clear-headed. The other students also gradually regained their senses. Each and every one of them assembled near the pond like refugees, their bodies were also trembling. Not long after, Kong and Mrs. Tong Yue led Mo Fan out of the cavern. After everyone saw that Mo Fan was actually still alive, each of their faces revealed an expression like they had seen a ghost. They had personally seen Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou lead the spirit wolf into the cavern. In that kind of situation, even if they had 100 lives, they'd still be shredded to pieces by the spirit wolf. Mo Fan, you guys didn't die? He Yu was finally clear-headed. Seeing Zhang Xiaohou and Mo Fan still alive, her tears began to flow. The eyes of class president Zhouman, seeing the two of them were safe and sound, also began to redden. If it wasn't for Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou luring the spirit wolf into the cavern, there was no telling how many people would have lost their lives. No matter how you put it, it was them who had saved everyone. The other girls who also had wounds on their bodies began to weep. They had always been in an easy and comfortable place like school. They had never experienced this kind of situation. The male students were either laying on the ground, looking blankly into the air, or were rejoicing over the two heroes, Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou. Originally, they thought that as long as they possessed magic, they could do anything. At school, they would also feel proud and arrogant. At the end of the day, when they truly faced a magical beast, they weren't even able to cast their spells. If it wasn't for Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou luring the spirit wolf away, then the consequences would have been too unbearable to imagine. Oh right, just how did they escape from the wolf's claws? And where is the one-eyed magic wolf now? Wang Sanpeng and Shu Jiaoting asked. Do you even need to ask that? The one-eyed magic wolf has definitely been killed by the chief instructor. Kong's arrival was just in time. If he was even a second slower, then they would have already been eaten, Zhao Kunsen declared. The chief instructor glanced at the Zhao Kunsen who was making remarks. He couldn't help but think it was funny. They were both students, yet the difference was unnaturally large. Since everyone is not in a life-threatening situation, then I have some things to say, Chief Instructor Kong said loudly, for everyone to hear. Everyone was sitting outside of the mountain pass. The teachers were helping the students wrap their wounds, and the students were helping each other clean their injuries. In the process of you completing this bounty, we have actually been observing you all the entire time. Additionally, we will grade the students who have done well, among them being Zhang Xiaohou, Zhouman, Mu Bai, Li Yuming. Zhang Kong went on. These words immediately caused a disturbance amongst the students. The teachers were paying attention to the students during the process of the practicals. There were a lot of people who began to regret not doing well. Then when the magical beast appeared, "Why didn't you guys? Were you guys going to appear after we died?" Mu Bai asked resentfully. To be honest, he was almost killed by the magical beast. If this spirit wolf really wanted to kill you, you would already have died. Especially you. Zhang Kong coldly snorted. Mu Bai puckered his brow as he thought back to the scene from before. Indeed, if the spirit wolf really had slammed down with its foreleg, then his little life would have already dissipated. Wait, Chief Instructor, what did you say that magical beast was? A spirit wolf? Zhouman hastily asked as she suddenly realized something. That's right, that wasn't an one-eyed magic wolf. That was a spirit wolf. It's a summoned beast, Zhang Kong continued. Let me explain things to everyone. The bounty practical this time was actually arranged by us and the instructors. Even the summoned beast actually belongs to this instructor, Bai Yang. We needed you to face against a magical beast, but at same time, we didn't want you to be killed by one, the homeroom teacher, Shui Mesheng explained. As this was being said, all of the students started crying in relief. So it was actually a practice. Why did it have to be so real? They genuinely thought that they were actually going to die. Additionally, the spirit wolf's combat prowess was far too scary. There were so many of them using magic, yet it was ineffective against the spirit wolf. I was just thinking, how could Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou survived it? It seems like it was a summoned beast. Zhao Kunsen said with disdain. That's wrong. The truth is, just now, there was something that exceeded our expectations. This spirit wolf suddenly went out of control. It no longer heeded the commands of summoner Bai Yang. Just when we thought the spirit wolf was going to massacre you all, Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou lured it into the cavern. Thus, your lives were actually saved by the two of them, Zhang Jiangguo stated. Heavens, then we really are fortunate. Zhang Yinglu couldn't help but yell out. What fortunate? It was Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou who saved us. These two brothers, if there is anything in the future, don't hesitate to issue me a command. I will not decline it under any circumstances. We're thankful for your bravery. From now on, you will be our eldest brothers. Wang Sanpeng and Xu Jiaoting were friends, and very proud and arrogant. However, now they were both expressing their thanks to Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou. Mu Bai and Zhao Kunsen were just standing there with their faces pale. How could they accept that their most despised person had actually saved their little lives? Teacher, you better give extra attention to this cavern. If that berserk summoned beast were to charge out. Zhouman reminded them. Don't worry, the summoned beast has already died, Mrs. Tanyue said. It was killed by Mo Fan, Zhang Kong nodded his agreement. Oh, as long as it's dead. As long as it is dead. This kind of berserk summoned beast. Wait, Chief Instructor, what did you just say? Wang Sanpeng didn't immediately come to his senses before he opened his eyes and asked again.